Hello?
Hi, is this Sean?
Yes, ma'am. Are you Lisa?
I am. How are you?
Scared?
What's going on?
There's a situation that happened a lot of years ago that has resulted in a lot of abuse.
Okay.
And there's a lady who works for you, and you don't have to confirm this or not. Her name is Missy, and
Uh-huh.
she was a friend of mine back in Chapel, Nebraska.
Okay.
I had some issues with a woman who was a drug addict. I used to help to rescue people,
Okay.
but I'm autistic,
Oh,
and whenever I tried to turn in what was going on, I got blown off and brushed off, and eventually she ended up getting shot in the head.
oh my.
Yes, ma'am.
That that sounds quite traumatic. How long ago was that, Sean?
She was killed in uh, December 29th of 2017.
In 2017. Okay. All right. Well, what's going on now? You said that you were scared. Are you in danger? What's going on?
Um, well, at first, I should probably explain. I went to Virginia. I used to rescue people, pass out blankets to homeless folks, and things like that.
Okay.
Also, I've driven from pretty much one end of the country to rescue people from all sorts of domestic violence and situations like that. Um, I was working through Region 1, and there was a lady there named Nicole Peralta. She was my therapist at the time, and there was a lady named Tamara who was my caseworker at the time. And because of the aggression towards me, the threats and the harassment and the assaults that I was enduring, we went through the hoops to try to get me disability so that it would be so that the cops would have to take my report about the abuse. Well,
Okay.
Tamara quit her job because she has a son who has high functioning autism. It's called Asperger's, but they
Okay.
don't call it that anymore. It's now just high functioning autism. The
Okay.
problem is that after going through all of that and getting the diagnosis and everything, um, instead of doing something about the abuse, because I am a high risk adult, the
Mhm.
police in Chapel, Nebraska wanted to tell me that I just needed to man up and that they had real police work to do. And whenever I tried to explain to them what was going on, like these people had pushed me to the point where I was suicidal. And
Okay.
rather than committing suicide, I was trying to get help, but nobody was nobody was helping me.
Okay.
Um, now,
So Sean, is this like just recently that you've had threats and the police is not wanting to take your information, or is this a while ago?
this is still ongoing.
Still ongoing.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. I've gone to all of the mandated reporters. I've looked up the laws in these things. And, like, for example, a mandated reporter, once they're aware of the abuse, it's 6 months in jail and $1,000 fine for not reporting it. But then, the situation is that there are just so many people that are afraid, and I've recorded everything, but until just recently, a lot of people have offered to help, and I've traveled from one end of the country to the other to try to get help stopping the abuse.
Okay.
Just recently, there's a friend of mine named Mandy Singer who I knew when I was homeless, and she's the first person to actually start looking at the evidence. I've been trying to turn in child abuse, including sexual assaults. Many of my predators, after what they did, ended up getting in trouble for the things that they did to other people after I tried to turn them in. But they keep using the term mentally ill and trying to
Okay.
loosely associate it as schizophrenia. And when that wasn't working, because these police officers did a lot of really screwed up things, The police officers, whenever I tried to turn them in, have repeatedly sent me to the officers that I'm trying to turn in, which is an obvious safety risk. They've also outright lied to hospital staff, telling hospital staff that I was schizophrenic, literally the officers that I'm trying to turn in.
Okay.
They've assaulted me repeatedly, and it's there's a lot of them who have been involved in this.
Okay.
The thing with Missy, I don't know how to explain this. She was a friend of mine, and when I was having issues with getting disability so that I could actually defend myself against Natalie and her druggy friends, um, she was, it was at home. She wasn't trying to do anything wrong or anything mean or evil, but she had had some to drink, and she wasn't very nice about it. Now, me and her got into an argument and stopped talking at that point. That's not me complaining about her. That was her personal time. She should have been allowed that personal time, and she's not a bad person for having
Okay.
that personal time. But the thing is, since then, I've reestablished some contact with Missy. She has stated to me very loud and clear that she's afraid for her family if she does anything or says anything, and I have recordings and documentation of hundreds of people telling me how afraid that they are of coming forward or saying anything.
Okay.
And
Who is this, or where is this immediate threat coming from that has you scared, and Missy states she is scared for her family? Who is that coming from?
it's coming from the general public and also from law enforcement. Law enforcement didn't do their jobs prior to Natalie getting killed, and when Natalie was killed, it was all over the news, all over the internet. I was living in Colorado at the time, but this is people have taken part in this pretty much nationwide at this point.
Okay.
Mandi has gotten to take a look at a lot of the evidence. Well, not even a lot of it. She's been able to see enough to be able to verify that I am telling the truth, but we've only gone through 1/100th of 1% of this. I don't have a safe environment to stay in. I've had to stay with drug dealers and alcoholics and very volatile situations, and
Okay.
homelessness is a.
Where are you staying now? Where are you staying?
I'm currently in McCook, but I'm staying in my car.
Okay.
Um,
Whereabouts in McCook are you at?
Um, I am not exactly sure. I'd have to go out. I'm actually over at my friend Mandy's house. But the
Okay.
thing is that I need someone there so that I can turn this in to the police and not be threatened or harassed or intimidated by the police for trying to turn it in.
Okay.
Um, it,
So,
when I
which
try.
which police force do you need to? Where is? You said that your threat is from the general public. Where physically is the threat? So we can determine which police force we need to contact.
Specifically, the threat is Dual County, which is why I'm in this region instead of Region 1.
Okay.
Dual County Sheriff's Department, as well as several other officers who are involved in, well, in. A police officer cannot diagnose schizophrenia, and that's what they keep trying to pretend.
Okay.
The specific threats are Sheriff Scott DaCosta of Dual County and
Wait. What was that again? What was the name?
Sheriff Scott DaCosta of Dual County,
Okay.
as well as his deputies. Also, a Deputy Lassen and or not Deputy Lassen, State Trooper Lassen. They took part in an assault on December 16th of 2020 when I was trying to turn in Sheriff DaCosta. Um,
Okay.
this issue has been ongoing since almost over a year before Natalie was killed. Now,
Okay.
if you look up my name on the internet or you look up Natalie Bollinger's name on the internet, you get to see a bunch of slander. Mandy has gone through some of the evidence that I've been trying to turn in, and a lot of this evidence, it shows that they outright lied and they denied me my rights as a human being. Now,
Okay.
there's supposed to be a little bit of an overlap between my constitutional rights as an American and also my rights as a disabled person. But they've
Mhm.
been denying my rights as a disabled person because I'm intelligent, and denying my rights as an intelligent person because I'm disabled.
Okay. So is it now? I'm just asking because I'm not that familiar. Is this something where um, let me see how I can word that. Is your immediate threat? Um, when was the last time you were threatened? Let's just go with that. What was it like today, or this week, or last month, or when
Um,
did that last threat take place?
that would be over the internet just today, but that's neither here nor there. The situation is that because it was so public and because I was never allowed to defend myself, I was denied all of my rights. This
Okay.
abuse is ongoing. There's also the
Okay.
fact that there's evidence of child abuse and neglect in many of these places that I've had to stay, and I've been trying to turn that in. The problem is that in a small town like Chapel,
Mhm.
Nebraska, the cops are friends with a lot of my predators.
Okay.
And
Have you, I'm just asking, have you contacted legal aid to see? Because I'm wondering if maybe that's,
I
I'm just
have
kind of thinking out loud. Have you contacted them?
I've contacted everyone that there is to contact. The problem is that without somebody in person, if people don't have to do their jobs, oftentimes they just simply won't. There's also the overwhelming caseload that everyone tells me that they have, and with overwhelming caseloads, you just end up with a lot of people who fall through the cracks, and then there's the priority of bias, and a lot of times a parent or a woman are the priorities, or military veterans and things of that nature.
Sure.
A lot of the issue is with me always being in a constant state of movement and a constant state of abuse. Like I don't even know how to get started on explaining this.
That's okay. So what?
All right, one of the
And I,
sites that they made about Natalie, this guy, his name is Rob Gavigan, and
Rob, what was it?
Rob Gavigan,
Okay.
and he's got 3 million subscribers or viewers, which means that uh, a lot of people watch his show. Now, there's literally at least 50 to 80 of these things on Natalie Bollinger on the internet, on YouTube, and so on. And all of them are selling the same thing. The police didn't want to do their jobs before Natalie was killed to protect me from Natalie's predators, and after she was killed, they tried to paint me as some sort of a violent monster. I haven't
Okay.
had any representation. I've been without a an actual advocate to speak for me. Mandy Singer is helping me now to go through the evidence and actually verify that it exists, because I can't get anyone else to look at it. I keep getting the runaround. I was told that each one of these people that I have to try to turn in, and there are literally thousands of crimes that have been committed against me.
So,
I'm told I
Sean,
have to go to a
what
different
can
place
I
every
be
time.
doing? I'm not sure what. How can I best help you? It sounds to me like you want to make a report, but you want. Um, is that correct? Somebody to back you up, or tell me specifically how I can be helping you.
I need to turn in abuse against an at-risk adult, and I need to turn in child abuse. I need a mandated reporter there who can actually verify it, and also Mandy, if she's able or capable, she's gonna try to be there as well. That way,
Okay.
I'm not brushed off or blown off or anything like that, which has been the case in every single situation prior.
Okay, where are the at-risk adult and children physically located?
I am the at-risk adult, and I am physically located in McCook.
Okay,
Several of the children are physically located in Chapel, Nebraska.
okay,
Every
all
time
right,
that I try to turn in the officers, they trump up charges and have me incarcerated, and I can prove that I was trying to turn them in and that I have to do so publicly because that way, that allows me to show that that is my intent, that is what I was trying to do. The
okay,
problem is that having to do so publicly, it allows them prior knowledge of what it is that I'm doing, and as a result, they have repeatedly slammed me with crimes that weren't committed. They've lied
right.
on government paperwork, they've lied on just about all of this. That's one of the reasons for having Mandy look at it, is because they keep trying to pretend that I'm schizophrenic, and autism is not the same thing as schizophrenia.
Okay. So let's just talk about the kids in chapel. Um, who is it? The kids' parents that you need to report, or who is it that you need to report for the child abuse?
One of them is, his name is Andrew Witcher, and another one is Amy Witcher, which is Andrew's wife.
Andrew and Andy Richer, and who are the
Andrew and
children?
Amy. Um, uh, is there an email address? There's a lot to it, and explaining it all is very complicated. The They have four kids, and one of them, the son, he has poor sexual boundaries, which I had noticed when I was there in 2018. They were supposed to be helping me. Instead, they took advantage of me, which I'm an at risk adult. It's pretty easy to do. They promised to help me. I would babysit for 2 days a week, and then they would assist me for 2 days a week. And what ended up happening is Andrew just couldn't get off the meth. Now, in the messages that I have between me and Amy, it's all verified in these messages.
Okay,
At the time, which I had to find out later, she was on cocaine and Andrew was on methamphetamines, and there's a lot of witnesses to the situation with the drugs that people
okay.
knew that they were on the drugs and so on.
So are they in imminent danger? Do we need to call and see if they'll do a welfare check?
Um, that's the problem, is that the Dual County Sheriff is not going to take it seriously. He's one of the people who's committed crimes against me.
Okay,
This is something that Mandy can verify. Like I said, I have to record every situation with them. They repeatedly tried to create safety issues for me and help out these predators with getting away with these crimes. The situation with the children being abused, I found out, or I was able to verify from Amy Witcher, that these things were going on in 2019, I believe. Um,
okay. So here's my question. Unfortunately, I, I cannot. If I don't have firsthand knowledge, I can't report that. So, if you want, I could try to set up like a conference call with the hotline to see if they would take a report. But you have to decide that. What do you think would be best?
Honestly, I don't know what would be best because I've already made hundreds of calls. That's the major issue with police calling me mentally ill and pretending that I'm schizophrenic.
Okay.
They've When I try to turn in the police, they've repeatedly, the officers that I'm trying to turn in have been the ones that have showed up and threatened and harassed, intimidated, assaulted me on multiple occasions. I mean, this situation didn't need to happen. I needed a mandated reporter to do their job, and I can't just keep on taking the physical abuse, and they're abusing their power in the courts to get away with these
Right.
things.
Okay.
Um, as far as the children go, like I was, it's all a very messed up situation, and the abuse is in a lot of different places. I don't have the technical skills electronically to do most of the things that I'm asked to do. I have sent stuff to various departments where they claim that they can't see what I've sent them, and then I forward that message to somebody else to verify that it cannot be seen, and the person I forward it to is able
Okay.
to see it.
Okay. So specifically, and unfortunately, it is what it is. It's Friday after 6 o'clock, and a lot of the offices that we may or may not be needing to talk to are not open. What specifically can I be doing to help you this evening? How can I best support you right now?
Um, I need I need to set up a time and a place to bring in all of my physical evidence of abuse and actually show it to someone in person. And I need
Okay.
someone to be present from that for that while I do it so that my rights aren't violated. And
Okay.
I need Mandy Singer to be there, and if she's able to, she will. She's already stated that. We've put a lot of this stuff on the internet. A lot of the stuff that I can't show on the internet, I've had her at least verify. I've been through 5 years of abuse. I mean, this started well before Natalie was killed. That's why I called Missy back in
Okay.
2017.
So here's my thing that I need to figure out, Sean. I do not know. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not sure which agency, office, department we need to contact about this. I I'm just not quite sure. I understand what you're saying, and I hear you that this has been going on and you've tried to report it and people don't listen. But in order for me to best help you, we need to make sure that we're contacting the people that can help you. And if the issue's in Dual County, um, I don't know if we have to go to state patrol or
I went to the
if we
state
call the
patrol
attorney
repeatedly
general's
between
office. I'm just not.
all of those places I've gone to. I've had to go to them all alone, and I have been blown off by all of them, and I have been.
And yeah, and I understand that, and I think, and I certainly understand what you're saying, that you want somebody to go with you so that there's no denial. But I would ask that you let me do some thinking and some research on who best to start this with. Um, because you're physically in Red Willow County now, but if it's going on in Dual, I don't know if it does any good to do Red Willow. I just don't know.
Well,
So is
that's the
that
thing is
something that
that
you would
really
allow me? Is that something that you would allow me to do? Is to do some research, and then I can get back in contact with you the first part of next week and figure out, okay, I've talked to this person and that person, and this is where we need to start. Are you okay if we do that?
yes, ma'am, but there are some pretty important details that you need to know. I've
Okay.
called the Nebraska Attorney General's office literally hundreds of times in the last 4 years. I've tried to contact everybody there is, and they all send me around and give me the runaround. For 4 years, I've been given the runaround, and the abuse that I have recorded is blatant and obvious. I mean, the fact that nobody has been able to do anything about it, or they keep blowing me off. Many of the crimes that are committed against me, these agencies tell me that it's not their job, and then they go and show that it is. Some of my predators have been arrested. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Scott DaCosta had me basically shipped around from one county to another, one jurisdiction to another, so that I couldn't turn him in, and he falsified evidence in order to steal the evidence that I had against him and his officers. He knew
Okay.
that I was trying to turn him in. He's done this 6 times since Natalie died.
Okay.
I have court on the 4th of February over this situation, and without
Where's
some,
your court? Is
it's
it in
in,
Dole County?
it is.
And what is the proceeding that you have court for?
It's a protection order. The thing is that they were able to obtain an illegal protection order by lying and having me incarcerated. And
Okay.
then they held the proceedings while I was incarcerated, and I was illegally prevented from contacting my attorney for over 40 days. I was
So the
sent to
protection
prison.
order is on you, is that correct? And it's against who are you not supposed to have contact with?
The Dual County Sheriff's Department, their receptionist, Leslie, her name
Leslie.
is Leslie Snell, and she has taken part in this repeatedly. I was trying to turn in a child molester named Robert Warnick who had assaulted me. He's friends with Leslie Snell, and Leslie Snell works for the Dual County Sheriff. This is an ongoing issue that's gone on, like I said, for years. Um,
So what I'm hearing, mostly the frustration is just getting somebody to listen and
to
take
look.
you serious. And from where I'm sitting, I don't want to set you up for failure and go to somebody that really can't help or that, you know, isn't going to listen. So I'm just going to ask that you allow me to do, like I said, allow me to do some thinking and research and asking and find out where is the best place to start. Um,
We've already done that. The best place to start is with the Nebraska Attorney General's office, but there again, somebody has to be there and present. Otherwise, they're going to use the mentally ill thing to blow me off, brush me off, and ignore me.
okay.
The Nebraska Attorney General's office, I've got recordings with them, dozens of recordings with them, where they said that they sent me to the FBI because this harassment is not only across the internet, but it has resulted in threats, harassment, and assaults across state lines.
So if
But
I was, so if you think the Attorney General's office is who we need to contact, then probably we need to, and we can do a conference call them together next week and find out, do you have to have an appointment? How do you, is it a formal complaint you have to submit in writing? What it is?
we've
There's
attempted
not
the.
really anything we can do today since nobody's around, right?
That is correct. Is there like an email address or something that I could send things to you so that you have a little bit more of an understanding? I mean, I was informed that you already had a pretty big caseload and you had to take over the caseload of two other individuals, so you're pretty well swamped.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
you can send it to my email. It's Lisa Green. Get it this weekend, but I will try to look at it next week. And then, like I said, I will be in contact with you and see if we can come up with a plan of how to best approach this. And like I said, maybe it needs to be a conference call with me on the phone as well for you to tell your story so that they listen. But like I said, I would just want to do some thinking and research and find out if that's and and I'm not saying that the attorney general isn't the place, but I would want to know, okay, is there a way to, do you have to list a formal complaint? Does it have to be in writing or whatever? So,
that's one of the issues that I've had is that they keep changing their minds about who I need to call. Every agency tells me it's some other agency's job, and
okay,
then there's evidence that obviously the things that they're telling me are untrue. For example, they were telling me that the Nebraska State Patrol was telling me that it's not their job to police the police. They told me I had to call the Dual County Sheriff's Office. I called the Dual County Sheriff's Office. They said that they can't investigate themselves. I have to call the Nebraska State Patrol. This went on for about 30 minutes on the 16th of December of 2020, and it resulted in Scott Costa, the very man I was trying to turn in, coming to my place and assaulting me and then threatening my roommate with CPS. if
Okay.
he helped me anymore. And this is, people are scared. I mean, even Missy, and I'm gonna send you the messages between me and her, so that, I mean, this is an ongoing situation, and a lot of people are scared. The places that you're gonna tell me to go to, it's fine to go through all those places, but not without someone there and present, someone who is going to actually care about my rights instead of making every excuse not to. Now, I have gone through Region 1. Marcia Estrada was helping me. The problem is that I can't go to see Marcia Estrada. There are too many safety issues there. So even though we have an appointment for Monday, I can't go to that appointment. It's become an extremely unsafe situation.
Okay. Well, like I said, let me do what I need to do the first part of next week, and then I will be in contact with you, and we'll see if we can come up with a plan of how to best attack this issue. Does that sound okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, be safe this weekend, and like I said, I will be in contact with you first part of next week. I don't have my calendar in front of me, so I can't tell you specifically if it's going to be Monday or Tuesday or whatever, but I will be in contact. Okay.
All right. Also, Mandy will be assisting me with the internet. I'm not good with the internet, and that's one of the things they've taken complete advantage of.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna have Mandy help me with that. Do I have to sign a piece of paper or something for her to be able to do that?
I don't think so.
All
I
right.
don't think he needs to. So okay. All right, Sean. Well, like I said, be safe this weekend, and I will be in contact with you the first part of next week.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye. Be safe.